Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for November 30th, Wednesday, November 30th if you're watching in real time. But if you stumble upon this at a different time, then that works too. This is a timeless reading for whenever you stumble upon it. But I have been doing a kind of consecutive days using the tarot animal since I bought this or got it for my birthday anyway, and from my son. He gave it to me, my son Sammy, and I've been using this deck also. Yeah, I do this daily reading now. I've been doing it for a few months, and I just like to get a daily take on what's going on. And sometimes the messages can be very mundane and just sort of like what happens in your day, and sometimes it's a higher energy that talks about something that can help in more than one day or maybe even into the future, things like that. So we'll see what we get today. I'm Cherry Enchantress. Did I already say that? Yeah. In case you don't know me, but if you know me, hello. And I think what I did ask for like comments and stuff, and thank you all for being so sweet to me. Anything you want to say, anything at all, you know. I love to read your comments and I love to share with you. And we're just like all in this together, aren't we? Look how beautiful this deck is. It's just like, I can't get enough of it, obviously. All right. Pretty soon I'll be doing your December reading, what's happening in December for you, so you can look forward to that. All right, let's see what we got. Ooh, we have the Eight of Cups. Isn't that a pretty one? I love that. And we have the Two of Swords. Interesting. And, wow, another pretty one. A Three of Swords. Okay, well, Three of Swords is not happy, but it is pretty. Interesting image, right? I'm curious to know what that talks about. But you know, this morning I was listening to Kino as I was walking, and I picked a pile that says, well, the reading I think was, what do you need to let go of? And I think it had the Three of Cups come out for me, I think, and so it had to do with, you know, those three energies. And here again with the Three of Swords, it has to do with those three kind of energies, and it doesn't always represent a person. It just represents something there that is kind of causes the two things not to mesh, right? Maybe not to come together in the 3D, or not to gel or seal or unite. I feel like sometimes a three energy can keep that separate, and sometimes the Three of Swords is kind of helps you to give perspective on things. The Three of Swords also, all of the swords read, you know, all of the sword cards or suit, to me, kind of as a perspective issue, because swords represent the mind, and a lot of it is a perception that needs to be changed slightly or reworked or revisited. But let's zoom on in and get a better look. Eight of Cups, you know, talks about the walking away, and something interesting that Kino said was that even if there's somebody in your life that you need to walk away from, and sometimes you hesitate, right, because you're like, oh, but they're so good in him, there's, you know, there or her, there's something about them still there, maybe they can change, maybe this, maybe that, you know, and I love them or whatever, like, or you know, unconditional love, all of these things, you know, pop up in our heads when we're trying to decide what's best for us in a situation. And you know what? You can still love a person and you can still find good qualities in a person. But if that person is just not treating you right, or is not fulfilling if it just doesn't, you just know when it's not right anymore. You just know when it's just not working, and when you are giving so much, and they're not even meeting it. So there's a part of you that has to decide, should you hold space for them and maybe not anymore, or should you hold space for this idea? And what she was talking about, because a lot of groups came out, was maybe it's a group of people, like a group of people that you just love, but maybe they gossip too much and that's just not you. Or maybe it's a job that you just feel like you never really fit, but you try to make it fit. There's something like that that's happening, I think, here as well. So, as far as the animals are concerned, though, the artist interpretation of the Eight of Cups is it symbolizing disappointment and unfulfillment and withdrawal. Something that was joyful now is just kind of not so much, it's just like wah, 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 and it's time to move on from that and move away from that. I feel like, it's important to actually figure out what actually does bring me joy and contentment and happiness. And that sometimes is a good place for the Two of Swords. Don't be in your head too much, but actually being in your head might be it'd be good right now for a little bit of analyzing. But remember, the head a lot of times deals with the ego, and sometimes we stay in a situation or argue with ourselves and our minds about going because of our egos, thinking that we're in a good place, we don't need to leave, everything's fine, because of maybe some of your base needs are being met. But what about like your soul and your spirit flying, right? Right. Speaking of flying, there's a firefly right here, and the firefly is escaping the scene into the dark sky, and it's just talking about your journey. Fireflies represent hope and light, and it lights our ways in the truth. They symbolize inspiration and awakening to a new hopeful future. So that is the light in this Eight of Cups moment. It's like shining their light. It's changes, moving, letting go, okay? Because the great thing is what we sometimes are afraid to let go or move to the next step, because if we think we're afraid of loss, maybe we're afraid of we lose something that what do we have? But what you don't realize is universe will replace that loss right away as soon as you let it go. So and it is important to keep a space for that new thing to come through. So so if you're in your head and you're weighing back and forth thoughts that might be plaguing you, thoughts maybe making you wonder why or what you should do, choices that you have to make. And it could be a serious big choice, like today when you stumble upon it, you could be making a big choice. It could be a minor thing though too, it could be like, I choose to not dwell in these thoughts that are not helping me. I may be talking down to myself, and you just say, okay, that's it, I stop it now. I'm not gonna talk to myself like that anymore. Then you can turn to I am affirmations or something to help like get back on track of being good to yourself, right? So the lobster is what is here, and he's got these. Okay, first I wasn't sure. I thought they were like little crab thingies. It's all really about balance. Sometimes it's about avoidance, not wanting to admit to yourself that there's something you need to walk away from. There could be a stalemate, like there could be somebody in your life maybe that's like just maybe blocked you, maybe not talking to you. And I know it's hard in this land of twin flames where I've done this too, where you feel like with the twin flame you kind of make exception because they're your perfect person and your match, and you're gonna wait for them. And yeah, like maybe energetically there's something that you can that will always be there, that will never be apart, but physically on this 3D realm, I think it is time for you to move on, because it's not going to help you get closer to your person if you keep clinging on to it. And it's not, if the timing's not right, or things not happening right, if there's third party situations or whatever the case may be that may not be helping your situation, it may be important. Now see, the person is maybe, or the situation is right for you if you can walk away and they chase you, or they follow you, or they grab you, or they talk to you, or they reach out to you, or they don't want to let you go. But if they don't do those things, then just keep on walking until or whenever the time is right. And it might not be with this person. Spirit might have something better in store for you. So just keep on thinking that. I know habits are hard to break. When you love somebody, it's hard to break, especially like a real high level love, somebody that's made such a difference in your life that you really believe that they were the one, and maybe they were, and maybe they still are. But if you don't feel like major changes happening now in your life, if you feel like, yeah, I felt like this at one time, but now nothing major, nothing like I don't feel like I'm elevating spiritually, it may be time, like what happened yesterday, to go on that retreat. So anyway, the Two of Swords is saying that you've been, that you're making choices. You might be in your head a little bit much. And then the Three of Swords is please kind of begging you, like, don't retreat. Don't go back to this. They may even reach out to you, right? And it might be a test of your strength and your willpower to say, this just doesn't feel right. Even if it seems like a twin flame high level situation, and the law of the universe is different from the 3D laws, I still don't want to do this. That could be one possibility. There's lots of scenarios here, though. Not all of them have to do with third party and that sort of thing. A lot of them can have to do with just heartache, heartbreak, dwelling too much in thoughts of the past, and before you can move on to the next thing. So this is like these are like parasites, really fun, and they're beetles attacking this beautiful rose, and this poor rose can't defend itself. So the message from the beetle is, loss at times is inevitable. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be prevented. It cannot be avoided. But you can prepare, and over time you can accept that this loss can make you stronger. You won't break, even if it feels like it at times. So when this pain comes, use it and let your tears come. Let them wash away some of the sadness as they fall. This is like... it's funny, my uncle was saying the word decimate a lot, and decimate came out. These beetles are decimating the rose bushes. Like, there's things that you can decimate, which means like it totally turns into pulver, like a powder, or you can chop something, or there's different ways of. So maybe there's still like too much. There's something you're still holding on to, and it's saying you got to go even further. You got to go even deeper. You got to do it even more so than you did than you think you've been doing it. Like you could be saying like, la la la, I walked away, I'm fine, but you still think about them all the time, or you still, they're still in, whatever. You're still clinging to certain aspects, and maybe Spirit's like, the best way you just got to really, 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 It's got to be a more thorough job, and it won't be until then will we be able to give you your special present that we want to give you. Spirit has something in store for you, and that's the big, beautiful message of this. As soon as you really, 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 finally, ultimately, completely, 100%ly let this go, whatever it is, person, place, energy, thoughts about yourself. Like maybe some of you just think you're not worthy to have this big career, or whatever it is, till you really, really let that go. Then you're not making space for that good thing to come in, and it's coming through. It's coming through. It's like right, I just feel like I'm getting this energy that it's like this sheet that's moving down over this, that as soon as this clears away, da-da, here's your new life. It's gonna be amazing, you guys. So keep that in mind. Don't overthink it. Instead of Two of Swordsing it, go, Hermit, or go High Priestess. Use your intuition, connect with spirit. Then you'll start to see glimpses of it, and then you'll know, and it will hit your heart chakra, and you'll really get that feeling of, oh, that's what's coming towards me. I feel it. I know it. I know it. I deserve it. Start believing in that, and that will happen. All right, a long reading again, but I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.